Welcome to Dangerville, everyone. This is Jacob in the flesh. So we're living in what many consider to be the best time that there's ever been for being a monster fan. Godzilla, King Kong, Gamera, you get the deal. And while this surplus of monster content is good, there's been a lot of drama going on recently with it, and I'm sure you've seen plenty of it. So in hindsight of all this negativity and drama, there's actually been something really cool happening, and that is that -1's director, Takashi Yamazaki, has been going around talking with members of the Monsterverse, like Adam Wingard, Gareth Edwards, and even friend of the channel and monster creator himself, Jared Krichevsky. Alistair and I have just been talking about how cool and heartwarming it is to see all these different creators coming together and honestly just having this mutual respect for one another. We see it in the videos and these pictures here on the screen right now. And we really thought that you guys needed to see that. Right now, there's just too much bickering going on in the Godzilla fandom community, whatever you want to call it. Right now, tons of fans of Godzilla and the monsters are arguing and belittling one another for their opinions on these movies. And they might not even know that their favorite directors are actually buds. So that's why I wanted to make this video. And we even have quotes from Adam Wingard and Takashi Yamazaki about how much they actually respect one another and how much they actually enjoy each other's movies. But going back to the issue at hand, with everybody arguing over their opinions on which take of Godzilla is the best or which one is their favorite, this has always been an issue. Trust me, I was there for Godzilla 1998. And it's not just the Godzilla community, I know this. But I don't know if you've noticed, but it seems like over the last 10 years or so, it's been normalized to argue with people that like the same thing as you, but just not like exactly the same take on it. And it just seems like some people get off on this arguing online. It's just weird to me. It's literally just words on a screen, guys. Now, for the most part, over the MonsterVerse's run, the kaiju community has kept away from this drama, but with Godzilla -1 being such a hit, and a blast of fresh air in this soulless catalog of modern cinema entertainment, and with the Monsterverse going all in on the over-the-top fun-for-everyone Marvel thing, the Godzilla and monster fandom has finally found a reason to wage war with one another. Us humans came from this tribal society thing to where it's us against them, and this trait, while thankfully mostly gone in a violent physical sense, now continues on with our nerdy obsessions. It's kind of funny, isn't it? Now, there's no denying that Godzilla -1 and the new Monsterverse movies are polar frickin' opposites. One is uber serious, the other is, well, insane. Now hear me out. What's crazy to me is that I believe that both of these takes on the Godzilla franchise are actually good. A lot of the time with other franchises, you know, it's okay to argue, at least in some sense, because one of them is actually quite bad. But in this case, looking at it with no beer goggles, no sort of bias or anything, if you just inspect both of them, they're both relatively good in their own ways. And like I said, I'm not just a blind Godzilla fanboy. There's been other franchises that do this sort of thing, and believe me, I'll let you know when one of them sucks. And I've been relatively quiet about all this on the channel. I try to avoid drama, but I feel like right now we need to talk about this happy thing that kind of, brings us together instead of tearing us apart like everything else is trying to do right now. So within the feature for Godzilla Kong in the recent Empire magazine special, we got statements from both current Godzilla movie directors Takashi Yamazaki and Adam Wingard. And it's nice to know that they think just like a lot of us fans do. They think a world with both of these Godzillas is truly a gift to everyone. So I'm gonna go ahead and read Yamazaki's statements first. The Hollywood interpretation of Godzilla is a very interesting use of the IP. It can endure and survive many different interpretations. To me, it's a more fun version of what Godzilla can be. Classic Toho version did explore something like that at one point in its history, and within that genre, I think they do a good job of balancing what the humans do versus what the kaiju are doing. There's also a statement from Takashi where he actually gives Godzilla 1998 some credit. The 98 Godzilla was a fairly well put together and fun film, but I can understand the people who also say this isn't Godzilla. I think as a kaiju horror type of film, it is quite well executed, and to their credit, I think it was the first time Godzilla was rendered in a digital context and methodology, so that was a huge achievement for its time. So yeah, Godzilla -1's director Takashi Yamazaki just pretty much respects and appreciates all Godzillas, and you gotta give him credit there. That guy is just awesome, it seems. But now let's go see what Adam Wingard, the director of the new Godzilla Kong movie, has to say about Godzilla -1. It was fantastic. It's one of the best Godzilla movies I've ever seen. I think we can all agree there. Their take on Godzilla is so different than mine. I'm following the later 60s, 70s Showa pattern, where Godzilla is this hero character. In -1, Godzilla reacts in a way that's metaphorical to what the characters are going through. It's such a different movie than ours tonally. You're getting more Godzilla now than ever, but you're seeing all sides of him. It's really super cool. And that's pretty much where I stand personally. I like a serious Godzilla, I like a less serious Godzilla, I even like a Godzilla guy in a suit. It doesn't matter to me. There's just something about Godzilla movies, like even when they're bad, let's be real, there's a lot of ones that aren't very good, right? But even when they're bad, they're still special. They still have this interesting place, at least in you know, up here in my brain, probably yours. And I think that's just something that, you know, a lot of people aren't able to see, but they all have their own special place, right? But as always, I'm not trying to force you to think any particular way. Make up your own mind. But the next time someone online tries to rile you up because you say you like something that they don't like and they want to go and bully you, just ignore it, everyone. Just ignore it. They're just kind of cruel people trying to get a kick out of new age bullying where they just do this and they, you know what I mean? You know, we monster fans, especially Godzilla fans, have been picked on pretty much most of our entire lives for liking this character and this IP. It's true, you know it. So do you really think that we should be adding to this and picking on each other now, eating each other alive from the inside out of the community? You know, this fandom's already quite small enough, and I don't think we need to kick people out or make them feel any more unwelcomed in their passion than they already are in everyday normal life. And now you guys aren't gonna like this when it's been officially confirmed that Godzilla is going to...
What's up guys, how y'all doing? It's your KFC boy here, Gamester Hijacking Dangerville. And I've only got a little bit of time to explain before they find out what I just done. So real quick, if you're a -1 fan, or you're a Monsterverse fan, that's good for you. That's good for everybody, because we all love the top G. So, let me get something straight to you guys. If you are a fan of -1, that's good, but you don't like the Monsterverse, let me remind you a little something here, that you may love the Japanese Godzilla and all, but if you really think about it, the Japanese Godzilla has gone on a hiatus for at least 10 years in 2004 up to 2014. So, using that logic, the Monsterverse is what brought Godzilla back to life, and if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have Shin Godzilla, and we wouldn't have -1. So for those of you that are not liking the Monsterverse, as a -1 fan or Japanese Godzilla fan in general, well, just know you wouldn't have the modern Japanese movies without the American ones. And for the American Godzilla fans, when it comes to the Monsterverse, that are not liking the Japanese side of things, just know, if it wasn't for those old movies with those ugly rubber suits, we wouldn't have the Monsterverse now, would we?
And then his insides are gonna come out and there's gonna be blood everywhere and it's gonna be freaking awesome. Living in a time with a super serious dark Godzilla movie and an over-the-top blockbuster Godzilla team-up with King Kong is something most of us never thought would happen, and that's just prime. So if you have any other positive things to talk about in this community, let me know. I'm kind of tired of all this negativity in the world. I want to talk about happy things, like seeing these directors like fanboy over each other, and they're like, oh gosh, you're so cool, you're so cool, and now you're cool. Like, that's pretty dang awesome.